Hello everyone, how everybody doing today? Hope everybody's doing great. Welcome to another edition. Today we're going to talk about Resident Evil: The Village, and just give you my impressions of the game. Just first off, something a little. We're going to start negative and go to the positive side. One thing is, I really dislike first-person view games, and if it wasn't Resident Evil, I wouldn't have bought this game. But besides that, I really enjoy the game. And the reason I don't like first-person view games is it's kind of hard to see. I get tired of getting stuck behind a table. Try and walk over a table and I can't see the table. I don't know what's blocking my view. That's just minor stuff like that. And one of those other issues with first person that I have. But anyways, let's get to the game. I really enjoyed this game. It is definitely a lot more action packed, and then Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7 was pretty slow throughout, but Resident Evil 8, while it starts slow, it does move into a more action packed game. It also, unlike 7, has a lot more variety of enemies to fight, which makes it better. I think this is a lot better than Resident Evil 7 myself. I think Resident Evil 7 might be a little scarier, especially at the beginning when you're walking around the baker's house. But this Resident Evil 8, even though it has more action, it does just have a lot of scary moments to it as well. A lot of good jump scares. And like I said, I like the variety of bosses, or not, well, the bosses, but also of the enemies that you have to fight. And it's so it keeps you on your toes, and it's nice to see that on each area that you go to throughout the game, you get like a little bit of a different game experience, which was, I think, also a big plus in this game. The graphics look marvelous. The RE engine is really great. The story was great. It kind of continue on. Well, not kind of. It did continue on the Resident Evil 7 storyline, and I'm trying to keep this at the beginning, spoiler-free content. Then we'll get into like deeper stuff, but I'll make sure you guys know when I'm doing that. Yeah, so like the variety of the characters were great. I also feel like the bosses were just like the characters in general were a lot better than Resident Evil 7. It probably has the best cast of characters throughout the whole series. They were a lot more interesting when you had Lady the big tall lady, the vampire lady, and her daughters at the beginning. That was very entertaining. They were very intriguing characters. How sadistic they were, but also how they were a close knit family. You can actually tell that the daughters and the mother actually care for each other. And then when you move on, Moreau, or then you had the fish guy. He was probably the least, in my opinion, probably about the worst of the lot character. Not saying he was in general, he was a really good. If you put him in another Resident Evil game, he would have been a good character. But in this game, because all the other characters were so well developed, he was probably like my least favorite character. Could be because he was so gross as well. And then you had the Donna. I'm terrible with names. If you guys have watched my videos before, you know this. But the doll lady, her character was, you didn't really get to interact with her, but that also goes along with her character, as we find out that she was somebody who was like really shy. She was a big time introvert, and that's why she basically created her puppets, especially the Angie puppet, which I kind of liked Angie at the beginning when you first meet all the villains. Thought her character was probably the funniest of them all. And then you have I don't know. I'm just calling the metal guy because I can't pronounce his name. It's like Heisenberg, I think. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And he was like, he kind of played like the brother role in Resident Evil 7, where you find out through the bonus playthrough in Resident Evil 7, like he's actually like a sort of like a spy for the company. And this one, he's not a spy, but his motives is that he really doesn't like what he's become. Um, anyways, so he's kind of like a double crosser in this one. His motives are suspect, I guess you can say. I might already give up too much of that of his motives. And then you have Mother Miranda, and unlike the vampire lady, Demetrius or whatever you pronounce her name, while she considers her by family, she doesn't really care about. She doesn't really see them as family, but more as trying to bring back her try and bring back somebody back to life. Okay, that's her motive. That there's, she's kind of like a grief-stricken mother. I will say that, and if she's willing to do whatever it takes to bring this person back to life. She's kind of like Frankenstein in a way, trying to get a vessel to bring back, but trying to bring back another person to another body, kind of thing. Anyways, rambling on there. But yeah, so I really did enjoy the characters. I think these are probably the best cast of characters throughout all the Resident Evil games, which is saying something because Resident Evil does have a great cast of characters, especially villains. But I kind of like these characters, and it kept the game interesting as you're moving along from location to location to fight these bosses, these villains, and it's not really a dull moment in the game, really. The puppet area, Donna Vento, or whatever, was probably like the shortest part. And it's definitely the creepiest part, and because, if you've played the game, but it's just the creepiest part, and it's not very action-packed at all. But however, I think her boss fight's probably the easiest of everybody else's as well, just because of the circumstances they put you into it. I think this is like a one-of-a-kind ending as well for Resident Evil Village. I'm trying to think of the other endings. I mean, the Resident Evil 6, the Chris's story, kind of resembles this. One moment. Okay, sorry for that short interruption. Very short interruption for you guys if I'm editing this. Anyways, so yeah, I like the story, the game, the fighting sequences. I like the weapons that they gave us. I really enjoy this game. It's probably one of my favorite Resident Evil games. I still like the Resident Evil 2. The original and the remake are probably my favorites, but this one is like probably my second favorite of them all. I also like Code Veronica too, and hopefully they remake that one. So let's get into a little bit of the spoilers. Just briefly, some things I kind of liked. I'll just get to the end, I guess. That's one thing I really want to talk to you about. It's like at the top of my mind is that, excuse me. I like the end. It's kind of bittersweet ending, I guess you could say, because our boy dies at the end, which I think is probably one of the saddest endings. But I also gotta go with and Resident Evil 6 when Piers dies. That's pretty sad too. However, we did get to see that Rose's guys are grown up, and so but yeah, like all the stuff that Ethan goes through to save his wife and his daughter, I mean, I could really relate to that. I think that was great, showing his sacrifices that he makes, and then maybe he gives up his life at the end. I guess there are some videos showing that the guy walking towards the car at the end credits was Ethan. I guess maybe, I don't know if that was Ethan or not. But it would be interesting. In a way, it would be cool, but in a way, I wish it wasn't Ethan, because then it's like it makes the whole ending kind of cheap ending, kind of, it's like, yeah, he was alive. I mean, his life is good, but it makes you think he did this great sacrifice, and that would be great. Seeing that he did a great sacrifice. So at the end, we know it says this is the end of the Fowler story. So it makes me wonder, are we going to go are we gonna skip ahead into this Resident Evil 9, skipping ahead 10 years? Because I think Rose is still a teenager. So are we skipping ahead into the future of Resident Evil 10 years? And so that would make, Chris and Claire and all of them, what, 40s or 50s? I don't know how old. So does that mean that we're never going to get another Resident Evil game with the original cast? That kind of makes me sad a little bit if that's the case, because I would love to have another game with those characters. I felt like they really dropped the ball in Resident Evil 6 when they didn't put. It should have been Leon and Claire, and not Leon and Helena. I would have bid great if we had Leon and Claire together in Resident Evil 6, and then that would be like a great ending to those original characters. So I would really love another game where we get to play with Leon and Claire together. And if it would be possible, where we could play with Jill, Chris, Leon, Claire, and Sherry all together in a great ensemble cast into a game. Maybe it would be maybe not like a numbered game, but maybe something more like a Revelations. Revelations 3, have all those characters together. That would be awesome. And if we do skip ahead and do like a Rose storyline, I would love to see like Rose and Sherry together, because then you get these the two characters who've been affected with, some kind of a virus. Though, I don't know, you can't really say that Rose has a virus. But, you would have these two characters that have, mutations, I guess, into it into the game. And that would be great. I would love to I would love to play with Sherry again. I loved her gameplay in the 6. But yeah, I would love to see those two together. But the other problem is, if you have these special powers, I mean, Sherry's, I guess, is her special powers is that she gets hurt and she kind of regenerates. I mean, we don't really know what Rose can do. We just know that she can do some crazy. She must be able to do some crazy stuff, because just that brief conversation she has with that agent at the end. But yeah, so yeah, definitely, if you're a Resident Evil fan, you definitely got to pick this up. If you haven't played Resident Evil before, I would definitely recommend this. If you don't know what happened to Resident Evil 7, they give you a brief summary of it at the beginning if you choose it, so you know what's going on. And basically 7 8 is kind of in a lot of ways, it's disconnected from the first 6 games. I mean, they bring up, you get, you wouldn't recognize the symbols, like the umbrella symbol that is in this game, and you wouldn't get a lot of the lore, but you don't really need to play the first 6 to understand what's going on in 8. You probably do need to play 7, but like I said, they give you a summary. Anyways, that's my thought. This is a great game. Gets me fired up for Resident Evil 9, and hopefully we'll see that in a couple years. And another thing is, I'm definitely going to see why they're remaking Resident Evil 4, because the village, I thought I was deja vu with the village and the castle are very, the village is very similar to the village in Resident Evil 4. The castle is similar, but there are a lot of differences as well, but it'd be easy probably to transfer that into the Resident Evil 4 castle. So yeah, so that's my opinion. Let me know in the comments, did you guys like the game? If you played it? Are you looking forward to playing it if you haven't? What did you like, and what did you dislike? I don't know. Besides the first person view, nothing I can say I really disliked about this. And so have a great day. Until next time, bye.